How do I know which item I can sell when I follow competitors? How do I know I can pick an item, list it to my store, and be sure that this item will sell? So in this lesson, we're going to show you how you can follow competitors, how you can filter and analyze which items you can copy from your competitors, of course with the recommendation of changing up the title and doing market research. But it's also possible when you find competitors with high demand and low competition for a certain item, and you feel that you can sell this item with a good competitive price, it's alright to copy an item from your competitor. Just be sure that the demand is high and the competition is low. So let me show you how we do that. Here you can see I came across this seller from Malaysia. Now because he is coming from Malaysia, we can take into consideration that he probably is a dropshipper. Now like before in our previous videos, when we find a seller, we want to go through his stats. And in our previous lesson, we talked about what are good stats and what are not so good stats. So here, as you can see, this seller has a 39.10% of a sell-through rate. Over 21,000 active listings, over 8,000 sold items, and out of those 21,000 active listings, 2,042 sold successfully. The average product price here for this seller is $16.15, which is a little bit low than we look for when trying to find a product to copy from our competitors. But this average price does not mean that this seller might not have some higher priced items in his store. So if you can see that the rest of the stats are pretty good, you should also check out the product list and not just move on. So because I feel like this is an interesting seller, I'm going to scroll down to his product list to check out if he put some time and research into his products. So right off the bat, you can see the photos. They're very clear, very nice. Some of them have white backgrounds, which means it might be coming from Amazon, and some of them do not. Another very important thing to look at when looking at products in your competitors is looking at the title. Good titles are these exactly what this seller has here. They don't have the dots at the end. They don't have unnecessary words taking up room in their title. And this seller is using keywords that are describing his product. So it's very important to look at the title of each product or a product that you're interested in selling, looking at the number of sales as well as the sell price. And another very important thing is the competition. Now, when you're focusing on finding items to sell in your store, you should probably focus on items that are above $20 and items that don't have above 10 competitors. So now the more expensive the product, the more likely that you are going to make a higher profit. So now if you do not have this C in your Zeek, which lets you know how many competitors each item has, you can always click on this icon here, which is the scan title icon. It will open up a new tab, and right away here you can see how many competitors there are, in this case 19, which is too high when trying to sell a product. You do not want to be competing with 19 other sellers. So let's go back to the product list. So now let's look for a product that has a lot of sales, a good sales price, and low competition. So previously I came across this item here. The title for this item is a 5-in-1 smart robot vacuum cleaner, auto cleaning, microfiber mop floor sweeper. Now nowhere in this title does it say it is a branded item. When something is branded, such as Adidas, Nike, Panasonic, Philips, those are items that you should be staying away from because those are branded items. Items like these that do not have a brand name on them are safe to sell. Now the reason I chose this item and why it was interesting to me is because the title is nice and clear. It has 66 sales in the last 30 days, 331 overall sales, and it's selling at a price of $76.83. And there are only two other people or two other sellers selling the same product. So now to get a little bit more information about this exact product with this title, we're going to click on the scan on title icon again, because this not only shows you the competition, but it also gives you information about this product. So just looking at this product from these two listings, you can see that the sell-through rate is over 3,000%. It's at 3,350%. 67 sold items, and the sales earnings just for these products are over $4,000. Successful listings is at 50%, and the average product price is at $72. Now, I want to mention to you that when reading the statistics, when it comes to a certain product, it's very different than you would read the statistics when searching for a niche. We have different numbers we need to consider. There are two different levels of sell-through rate when it comes to product and niche, as well as the level of successful listings. So when looking at the statistics for a certain product, we do not want to have no more than 10 listings. The sell-through rate, we want at least 100%. Again, this is when doing product research. And the successful listings need to be at least 50%. And of course, lots of sold items with high sales earnings. And again, a high average product price. So this tells you that there's low competition and high demand for this certain product, which again is always what you want to look for when looking for a product to sell in your store. So now let's scroll down to check out the sellers that are competing here. So when here, you want to check out your competitors, what their feedback scores are, how many times they sold the item, and of course, for what price. As you can see here, we only have 2 sellers, so there's really no comparison. So based on that, we can see if this is a good item for us to sell or not. So the feedback score for this seller here is all right. It's a pretty high feedback score, but it's not so high that you wouldn't be able to compete against this seller. You can see that both of these sellers are using the same exact title, and the prices vary just by a couple of cents. So yes, this other seller here has a feedback score of 67, which is maybe why he didn't have as many sales as the first seller here, even though his price is lower. You can also tell that there is a photo missing. So when we come to the point of competitor research and we find an item that we want to copy from our seller, this would be a good product to sell. It's very important to look at the profit and make sure you're making the best profit possible. So to recap, this is a great product with a great title as well as a sales price, and the stats are good as well.